Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Okay, so Venerable Sangha, Shyales and dear Dhamma friends. So we'll resume our discussion on the Kusalattika Paṭṭhāna, right? So in the last week we started discussing about the Hetu-paccaya, right? So we started discussing the Hetu-paccaya, the root condition, and in the root condition we went through the enumerations, right? The enumerations we discussed, and up to a certain degree we discussed some Pali, right, which is in these sentences, and also we discussed about the analytical states, right? So we discussed about these analytical states too. Yes. So there were a couple of questions from the Chinese group, which Brother JJ, he translated the questions, right? He communicated these questions for us, right? So one of these questions is that there is a request to revisit and explain the Chitta and Cetasika mentioned in the lessons, probably when pointing out the analytical states. So I understand this request as a very a kind request, a noble one, to learn this Dhamma. Now, but we have to understand that in this stage, in this course, it is not possible for to do, right? To discuss about the separate Chitta and Cetasikas, because the Paṭṭhāna is the study. It's from the last treatise of the Abhidhamma. So the basic knowledge, it comes from wherever you study the Abhidhamma Sangha or related literature. So if we start discussing this, then it's we will never be able to learn this Kusalattika Paṭṭhāna. So once you have a good base, then it's better to go ahead with this course. And if you have enough time to do a self-study, maybe have a discussion, a group discussion or something like that, then in that case, then you can work on this and continue with this course. So yes. So by this, I'm not anyway in any form not discouraging you to continue with this course, right? So please understand that, right? I'm not discouraging you all to do this course, right? Now this is really the third time I'm teaching the Kusalattika Paṭṭhāna. The first two times I have taught in Sinhalese, in my language, and to monks, all of them, right? So I taught them. So this is my third time. So with my experience, so I will share some experiences. So one is that when some of the monks, when the students, when they join the class, in the previous two occasions, some of their Abhidhamma knowledge was not very good. Not very good. The basics were not very good, right? But they had enough attitude, enough dedication, and then when I was doing the course, they suddenly pick up all. I mean, they did not do it suddenly, really. That with a lot of dedication and a lot of work, they worked on the backlog and kind of gain that knowledge on wherever they were missing out. So with that kind of dedication, with that kind of a good attitude and quality work, we can do, right? So some of those students, they even though in the beginning even the basics were not very good, they were able to continue the course and finish and understand everything without much issues. So it can be done, of course, right? I'm not discouraging you to continue this course, right? So please think in that way. So so if you don't work, then it's not going to happen. And the other thing is that even though if you have good Abhidhamma knowledge, like the basics, if your basics are, even though the basics are good, if you don't follow the classes properly and do the studies and all, so it's not going to help, right? I mean, after some time, maybe after a few weeks, maybe after a couple of months, then you will realize, well, this is not for me, right? So the real reason, it's not the real reason. The real reason is that it's the amount of, it's about the dedication how you are putting. Let's say, for example, so most of the time, the classes when I did it, I did it for monks. So in the monastery. So when I was teaching them like 1 to 2 hours per day, right? So mostly 1.5 hours, sometimes one hour. So then I asked how many hours that you are working. Like my contact hours, the number of contact hours per day was like 1 to 2 hours with the monks. And so sometimes I asked them how many hours that you, and I taught them every day, like 6 days per week. I taught them. So I asked how many hours that you are putting in to this study after the class. Then some of them say like we have some monks, they gather and have a group discussion, and sometimes they say like it goes for 2-3 hours, right? Sometimes. So if it's really like if you if you study for 1 hour, then on average they will be doing their self-study, the reading and all the whatever their own study for more than 2 hours, right, per day, because they were doing the classes like 6 days per week. So but I'm telling, so the monks who did not have that kind of dedication, and they could not understand, and halfway down the course they left the course. And the irony is that in all of this situation, I told them, like, when before it happens, I predicted this is going to happen to you. So but it's not, it sometimes the people do not take that advice, and then they could not learn it properly. So so please have all these details in your mind. So I'm not trying to make you afraid of this course, but I'm really trying to make you all understand how deep it is going to be and how much dedication you need to have. And on the other hand, we have to understand, with that work, with the dedication, you are going to develop your wisdom, the wisdom on our master's Dhamma. So that's the best thing about it, right? So the wisdom, that is the parami that we are fulfilling, right? So when you please have this attitude and understanding in this during this course. Okay, so the second question was it's about the Dhammas we were discussing. Why are all the paccayuppanna in dative form, right? So the paccayuppanna, the conditioned states, right? So the question is that why all the conditioned states are in dative form. So we'll have to go through this sentence, right? So this is the table that we analyzed. Right. So this is a table that we analyzed. So so the question is from this column, right? On the paccayuppanna, right? So in this column, the question is on that column. So the paccayuppanna, right? So the paccayuppanna. So if you look at this in grammatically, this sentence, this is in dative case, right? So oh, what happened? Okay, so this is in dative case, right? This is in dative case, and so in Pali, the dative case, it indicates a receiver in a I mean, if you look at in a sentence, it indicates of a receiver, a person who is receiving something, right? A person who is receiving something, a recipient, right? You can say it's a receiver, right? Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah. So this indicates a receiver, a person who is receiving something. You can call it a recipient. So like if you say now when we recite, right? So when you are paying homage to the Buddha, we recite Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa, right? So the word Tassa, it's a Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddha. So it takes all these words. It express some qualities of the Buddha, and all of these words, the phrase, it is in dative case, which means that we pay homage to the Buddha, which means the Buddha is receiving our homage, right? So that the receiver, that's in dative case. So in the same case with here, right? In the conditioned state, which means that there is a conditioning state, and this conditioning state is because of this conditioning state, another set of dhammas arise, right? They are being supported by another set of dhammas. So that set of dhamma, which is the conditioned states, the paccayuppanna, it becomes a recipient, right? It becomes a recipient kind. So that kind of a thing, because it's the result, right? So that's why it is it's in dative case. Okay, so okay, so we'll move into the lesson, right? So now we start this the Connaissance small classification, right? Classification means the Vibhanga, right? Vibhanga Pali, there is this table. So these kind of tables we find in the study of the Paṭṭhāna, in the Kusalattika Paṭṭhāna. These tables, they are compiled by Burmese shadows. So the reason for it is to understand the Pali easily, right? Because in the Pali there are patterns, right? In Paṭṭhāna, in most of the Abhidhamma treatises, like there are certain patterns in dhammas, right? So if to memorize them easily, the shadows have compiled these tables. So we will be learning this table for the Connaissance small classification. Like this is the table for all the 7 paccayas in the Connaissance small group. Right. So now we study them together. Okay. So I have shared the screen. This is for the Pali, right? This is for the Pali, and this is the table that we are studying, right? So I will guide you on how to refer it, right? So we are for the root condition for the hetu paccaya. So the Pali, we know the Pali comes as kusalo dhammo kusalasa dhammasa hetu paccayena paccayo. So this is the opening sentence, right? So that we have to use this table to memorize it, right? So again, we need to know a little bit of Pali and I mean the patterns of it. So here the Pali, it comes, the term is indicated here as ku, right? Kusalo. And so this is kusalo dhammo, and the term ending is kusalasa, right? The term ending is kusalasa, kusalo dhammo, kusalasa dhammasa. Then so this part is connected, right? Kusalo dhammo, kusalasa dhammasa, and then here we have the hetu paccayena paccayo, which is in the instrumental case, right? So that you have to connect it from here, which is from this column, instrumental column. So you have to, now here you see it's paccayena paccayo, like that. So you have to add the hetu, right? Because we are in the hetu paccaya, so we add the hetu here. So when we recite it and memorize it, so kusalo dhammo, right? So we have to add the word dhammo, kusalo dhammo, then kusalasa dhammasa, then you have to, thirdly, you have to add the instrumental, right? Instrumental case, instrumental phrase, hetu paccayena paccayo, like that. So that's how you fill the first one, right? So what we did here was the Vidhi Pali, right? I hope that y'all can remember last week we gave this name, right? The opening sentence, the summarizing sentence as Vidhi Pali. So what we did was the Vidhi Pali, and now we'll do the Anuvada Pali, right? Anuvada Pali is the following sentence which explains the first, which explains the summary, which expands the summary, right? So here we have kusala hetu sampayuttakanang khandanang hetu paccayena paccayo. So this part is the Anuvada Pali. So this is the Anuvada Pali, right? So now we'll refer to this table and get the answer, right? So now in this column we have the Anuvada, right? The Anuvada here. So we can get kusala hetu, because with the hetu paccaya, the conditioning states it's hetu, right? The hetu dhammas, the non-greed, non-hatred, and the non-delusion, the wisdom, right? So kusala hetu sampayuttakanang khandana, right? You see it here, right? Kusala hetu, right? Kusala hetu. Then you have the sampayuttakanang khandana. This Pali is here, right? Sampayuttakanang khandana. Then again you have to go to the final column, which is the instrumental phrase, hetu paccayena paccayo, like that. Right. Okay, so now we move into the second one, right? Second answer. Start with here. Kusalo dhammo abhyakatassa dhammasa hetu paccayena paccayo. So you start from here, right? Kusalo dhammo. You have the abhyakata here, right? So it's indicated by bya, right? It does not have abya. The a is locked. The sound the letter a has been elided, so it's bya, right? So kusalo dhammo abhyakatassa dhammassa. Then you connect it to this one, hetu paccayena paccayo. So that is for the Vidhi Pali. And for the Anuvada Pali, kusala hetu chitta samuttananang rupanang hetu paccayena paccayo. Kusala hetu chitta samuttananang rupanang hetu paccayena paccayo. Right, so get kusala hetu chitta samuttananang rupanang, then you connect it here, right? Hetu paccayena paccayo, like that. So this is the second one. Now we move into the third one. Right? Okay, I'll erase this first one, right? So now we move to the third one. Third one is kusalo dhammo kusalassacha abhyakatassacha dhammasa hetu paccayena paccayo. So it includes two types, right? So kusalo dhammo, we discussed about this last week, right? Kusalo dhammo, the kusala wholesome phenomena, and for the conditioned state, there are two types, right? Kusalassa and abhyakatassa, right? So you have to read at kusalassacha, abhyakatassacha. So when you are making the Pali from here, so you have to included the cha, right? So in Pali, the cha, it means this indeclinable particle. It has the meaning of and also, like that, right? So kusalassa cha abhyakatassa. So there are two types. So when you are making the Pali based on this, so kusalo dhammo, kusalassa cha abhyakatassa cha dhammassa hetupaccayena paccayo. So like that you have to make it. And then we have the Anuvada Pali. Then we have kusala hetu sampayuttakanang khandānang citta samutthānānaṁ ca rūpānaṁ hetu paccayena paccayo. Right? So we get the kusala hetu. Here we have the sampayuttakanang khandānang and citta samutthānānaṁ ca rūpānaṁ. Here also we have the term cha, right? Citta samutthānānaṁ ca rūpānaṁ hetu paccayena paccayo. Then you connect it here to the instrumental phrase. Right. So now we are done with the three answers here, starting from the term kusala. Right. Okay. So now we move into the akusala. So in the akusala, it is the same, right? The almost the same. The difference here is we have the akusalo dhammo and akusalasa dhammasa, like that. So that's the difference here. So the pattern is the same, right? So in the Vidipali, it becomes akusalo dhammo, akusalasa dhammasa. And here it becomes akusalo dhammo. The second one becomes akusalo dhammo, abhyakatassa dhammasa, like that, right? And in the Anuvada Pali, right? So in the Anuvada Pali, it becomes akusala hetu, right? It becomes akusala hetu. The rest is the same as kusala. Right? That the change is only for the kusala becomes akusala. That's all. Moving to the third term, which is abhyakata. So in abhyakata, there is only one answer, right? So in kusala, there were three. In the akusala, there were three. I hope you can recall. So in the abhyakata, there is only one answer. So here, the Pali, it is abhyakato dhammo, abhyakatassa dhammasa hetu paccayena paccayo. So get connect is abhyakato dhammo, and here it's the abhyakatassa dhammasa hetu paccayena paccayo. Connect it here, right? With the instrumental phrase. It's connected here. And so that is the Vidhi Pali. Regarding the Anuvada Pali, there are two Pali, right? There are two sets. Sorry, not two sets. There are two sentences. So one, it is given as pavatti. Pavatti means during lifetime, I mean during the life. And patisandhi means at the moment of conception, right? At the moment of rebirth. So there are two separate sentences for these two cases, right? So the first one, we have vipakabhyakata kiriyabhyakata hetu, right? Vipakabhyakata kiriyabhyakata hetu. So hetu had, yeah, so right, we find it here. Vipakabhyakata kiriyabhyakata hetu. The hetu has to be added here. Hetu. Then for the conditioned states, sampayuttakanang khandānang citta samutthānānaṁ ca rūpānaṁ hetu paccayena paccayo. So there are two types of indeterminants here, which is resultant indeterminants and functional indeterminants. So these two types, they support the sampayutta khanda, right? Sampayutta khandānang. Oh, there is an error here. Now I noticed it. Okay, let me correct it, right? So sampayuttakanang khandānang citta samutthānānaṁ rūpānaṁ. So these two types are given here, right? Rūpānaṁ hetu paccayena paccayo. And then for the next one, we have it here, right? Patisandhikkane, at the moment of conception, patisandhikkane vipakabhyakata hetu sampayuttakanang khandānang katattā ca rūpānaṁ hetu paccayena paccayo. So patisandikkhane means at the moment of conception, there are only the hetu, the roots, they only become vipakabhyakata, which means the resultant indeterminates, right? So that's only there. Sampayuttakanang kandanang, right? So sampayuttakanang kandanang, there's an error here, I will show it. Katattacha rupanang. Katattacha rupanang means the karma born material, right? Materiality. Hetu paccayena paccayo comes like this. So there is an error here in this table. The full table itself, there is an error, which is here it's sampayutta khandanang is wrong. So it should be sampayutta kanang khandanang. So in this table we have to correct this thing, right? Sampayutta kanang khandana, right? So here sampayutta kanang khandana. Right, so like that you have to correct it. Yes, I will explain later. Yeah.
Okay.
It's Adipati. Yeah. Yes, it's Adipati. I'll explain later. So regarding this, now you see the in this table, you see the here you see the here we see there's an indicator given as D, right? And what it means as now I told that this table is applicable for all the 7 paccayas, right? Not only hetu, all the 7 paccayas in the cornerstone small group. So there are minor differences, of course, in between paccayas. So one main difference is indicated here, which is in the adipati paccaya, in the predominance condition. This part is not there, right? This sentence is not applicable there. So that's what is indicated here. And in the last row, we have the kamma, like there's another phrase here, kamma, and it says chetana vatusa. So that is not applicable for this one. It is only applicable for the kamma condition, right? So we'll discuss about these two when we come to these respective paccayas.
Sorry, Pandit, can you repeat the last word? The karma.
Yeah, it says Chetana Vatusa. Chetana Vatusa. In karma condition, that we have this additional sentence.
Additional sentence. Okay.
Yeah, this additional sentence, right? It will be one extra. Right. So now, do we have any questions here?
典礼尊者，你最后说的这个业对一处，这是我没有听懂，能不能再给详细解释一下？感恩尊者。
Okay, so is that all? Right. So now we will move into the next one. Okay, we'll use this Word file because there were some small errors which I corrected now, right, in the Pali, right? So so we are done with the first paccaya, right? The first condition in this cornerstone small group. So so now the second one we are going to discuss is the Jhāna condition. And why we are learning the Jhāna really is that if we in the order of the paccayas, the Jhāna comes at the last, one before the last in the cornerstone small group. But we'll be discussing it here because most of the Sayadaws, they teach it in this way because the hetu and jhana are almost the same, right? These two conditions, they are almost the same, and it's easy to learn, right, for the beginner. So that's why we are learning it here, right? So sometimes there is a particular order of the paccayas we have, which are supposed to learn, but we'll shuffle it here and there for the ease to make the students understand easily. First, we learn the opening, the Pali which comes in the Paṭṭhāna paccayaniddesa, right? So in the Pali it says Jhāna paccayoti Jhānangani Jhāna sampayuttakanang Dhammanang tan samutthānānaṁ ca rūpānaṁ Jhāna paccayena paccayo. So Jhāna paccayoti means the Jhāna paccayo means Jhānangani, the Jhāna factors, Jhāna angani. Anga in Pali means the factors. So Jhāna angani means the Jhāna factors. Jhāna sampayuttakanam dhammana means for the Jhāna associated dhammas. Tang samutthānānaṁ sarupāna means and that produce materiality, which are the resultants of the Jhāna factors. For them, Jhāna paccayena paccayo. It supports through the Jhāna condition, like that. So in the Jhāna, there are 5 Jhāna factors, right? 5: vitakka, vicara, piti, ekaggata, right? And then we have the 3 types of feeling, the Vedana, Somanasa, Domanasa, Upekha. So this is really like in some books, it's explained as 7 Jhana, right? 7 Jhana factors by expanding the Vedana Chetasika here, and some it's given as 5. So either way, it's fine. So what we have to understand is that these 5 are the Jhana factors, and they support for the 79 chitta except twin 5 consciousness. So in the twin 5 consciousness, the Jhana Paccaya is not there, and to the 52 chetasikas associated with the 79 consciousness, and the Chittaja Rupa, the mind-born material, and Patisandhi Kammaja Rupa, the point of conception, karma-born materiality. So they support in this way.
Hello,
Excuse me.
Yes, Mani.
I think you have that. You can share you have that. You said you have this note, right? For the Jhana. So why this Jhana Paccaya is not applicable for the twin 5 consciousness? We have to understand this based on the Jhana Paccaya Sati, which means based on the conditioning force. So what is this conditioning force? It says in the text, it says that it's like observing closely, right? Observing closely something nearby, and which means that it has a kind of a focus on whatever the dhammas, whatever the things which becomes the object. So so regarding the twin 5 consciousness, we know these consciousness, they are resultant consciousness, and they are weak. And the other reason, and why do they arise? When we come across come across through the objects through the 5 sense doors, these 5 the twin 5 consciousness arise, right? And they are not very strong, they are weak. So for this consciousness to arise, it does not need the Jhana condition, right? So that's why it's not applicable for this 10 consciousness, right? So the Burmese shadows, they give a simile to explain this jhana condition. So the simile that the shadows are giving is that it's like somebody who is on the top of a mountain, and when somebody is located on top of the mountain, they can see the surroundings very clearly, like that. The jhana paccaya is like that. So that's the simile which is used by the Burmese shadows.
Sorry, Bendy. Like someone on the top of the mountain can see the surroundings.
Mountain. Yeah, they can see the surroundings very closely and clearly, and they can observe the surroundings well, surrounding area well, like that.
So where the 5 jhana factors
Sorry?
in this simile? How to we understand the jhana jhana gani?
No, it's about the simile is given based on the jhana paccaya sati, not from this side. Okay, so now we will move into the Pañhāvara, right? So in the Pañhāvara, again, the same method for the hetu, right? For the root condition, we will be learning the summary for the single enumeration, and then we will be expanding it little by little. Right? So in the single enumeration, for the jhana condition, there are 5 conditioning states: vitakka, initial thought; visara, sustained thought; piti, joy; vedana, feeling; and ekaggata, one-pointedness. So here it's the three types of feelings are included in one as feeling, right? And in the conditioned states, we have the associated aggregates, mind-produced matter, and at the moment of conception, karma-produced matter. Right, so it's almost the same, right? For the hetu, it's the same, right? The condition states are same. The names are the same, right? Not the conditions, right? Hetu was applicable for 71 consciousness, rooted consciousness, but here this jhana condition is applicable for 79 consciousness, which includes some of the the ahetuka as well, right? Non-rooted consciousness. So, but pretty much this part is same, right? The conditioning states are different. Of course, here in the hetu, we had the 6 types of hetu, but the condition states are pretty much the same. And the conditioning forces we will be discussing later on. And we have 7 enumerations for jhana. And these 7 are same as the root condition, right? So that's why it's easy to understand and memorize. Yeah. So the conditioning states, we already went through them, the 5 conditions, right? So 5 conditioning states, and we know the feeling, it's divided into 3: pleasure, pain, and equanimity. And we have to understand now some of these conditioning states, right? So the one which is feeling and one-pointedness, ekaggata. So these two are universal mental factors, sabbacitta sadharana, which means it's applicable for all the 89 consciousness. But we have to have in mind that this because the jhana paccaya is not applicable for the 10 consciousness, right? 10 twin 5 consciousness. So the feeling and the one-pointedness which arise in these 10 consciousness, in that 10 consciousness, the jhana paccaya is not applicable there, right? So that we have to know. And the other thing is that all of these, right, all 5 jhana factors, they belong to the to the anya samana category, which means that they are applicable in both wholesome, unwholesome, and functional and resultant consciousness, right? So all five have this feature. So regarding the conditioning states, right, the jhana factors, there are three types, right? Three types, or we can say four types. According to Kusalattika, there are three types, which is the wholesome jhana factors, then the unwholesome jhana factors, and abhyakata, which is the indeterminate jhana factors. So what we have to remember here is that because these jhana factors, they are applicable in all these three types, they will take whatever the form, whatever the form which they are applicable to. Say if it arises together with a wholesome consciousness, then it will take the wholesome form. The jhana will take a wholesome form. And if it arises with the unwholesome consciousness, it will take the unwholesome form. And if it arises with an indeterminate consciousness, it will take the indeterminate form. So it's going to be like that, right? So yes. So I forgot to tell you, right? So this part you have to memorize. Okay? So later it's going to be very helpful once we memorize this part, right? It's easy to memorize, right? Once we memorize one paccaya, then the only thing that you have to memorize is the difference, right? Only the differences that you have to memorize, really. Yes. Regarding the condition states, the paccayuppanna, so we know it's we removed the two sets of fivefold sense consciousnesses, and so it's applicable for the only 79 consciousness. And if we compare this with the root condition, in the root condition, when we consider the at the moment of concept consciousness, the rebirth linking consciousnesses, we only took 17 of them, right? 17 of consciousness, 17 consciousnesses, because it's because only 17 are rooted consciousness, right? So the other two was ahetuka, the non-rooted consciousness. So only 17 were considered. But in the case of jhana condition, we don't need to remove it. We don't need to deduct those two consciousness, and all the 19 rebirth linking consciousness, and so I mean the jhana factors associated with these 19 consciousness are taken here. And the other thing is that all consciousnesses with roots are conditioned by jhana condition, right? That we have to understand, which means that the 71 consciousnesses, they have the jhana conditions, but among these, however, among the rootless consciousness, except the two sets of five-fold sense consciousness, the remaining rootless consciousness are conditioned by the jhana condition, right? So which means that out of the 18 rootless consciousness, for 18, 10 of them are only removed, right? The other 8 consciousnesses, they are conditioned by the jhana condition. So once we have this in place, if we compare with the hetu, the root condition, and we have the question, how do rootless consciousnesses qualify as having jhana condition despite the absence of roots? So in these 8 consciousnesses, they do not have the roots, right? But they qualify for jhana condition. So so again here the answer would be that the jhana condition, it functions in a manner similar to someone striving to reach a destination, right? So if somebody is trying to reach a destination, that there's a kind of a striving to that, right? With an intense effort like that. But on the other hand, in the root condition, it supports the stability and firmness in relation to that goal, which means that what it's done by the root condition is that it supports, it establish some kind of a firmness, a stability to its condition state. So what we have to really understand to get the difference, you have to look into the 8 rootless consciousness which are conditioned by the Jhāna condition, right? So we'll be going through them one by one. So now we'll go through the 8 consciousnesses. So first one is the Hasituppada, which is the smile producing consciousness. So these conditions, this consciousness arise in Arahantas in relation to sense sphere objects, which means that we have learned this in the Abhidhamma Sangaha. So the Arahantas, so when they see some events, some issues in the sense sphere objects, right, then they smile, right? So that's one kind of one type of consciousness which have the Jhāna condition but not the root condition. Right. So the next type are the 2 adverting consciousnesses, right? Which is the Panchadvara Varjana. Vajjana, it should be Vajjana. Oh, it's correct, right? Panchadvara Vajjana, and the next one is should be Mano, right? Mano Dvara Vajjana, right? 2 types. So what is done by these 2 types of consciousnesses is that when the in a stream of consciousness, so what it does is that it directs the stream of consciousness towards a particular object, right? So for that they need a kind of a striving for that, right? So yes, so that's the second type. The third type is the 2 receiving consciousness. So what do these receiving consciousness perform? They when the fivefold sense consciousness, the twin fivefold sense consciousness, when they take an object, these 2 receiving consciousnesses, they will merely accept it, right? Which they accept the object which is presented by the fivefold sense consciousness, right? So yes. So the 3 investigating consciousnesses, right? The 3 types of investigating consciousnesses, they will further examine the object, right? Object which have been accepted by the receiving consciousness. So yes. So what we have to understand regarding these 8 consciousnesses is that even though the Jhāna conditions, the Jhāna condition is there, but the root condition is not applicable in these consciousnesses, right? Because for these consciousnesses, they do not require any stability or firmness in their object to take. But so without this support, they can perform their designated tasks without the support of the root condition, right? So that's a special thing about these 8 consciousnesses. So in the answers, right, in the Paccaya-niddesa for the Jhāna conditions, in the Pali it comes as Jhāne Satta, which means in the single enumeration of positive method that there are 7 answers, right? So these 7 are similar to the Hetu, right? So now we'll move into the conditions, for the jhana conditions, for the analytical states, right? So we still did not look at the Pali, but we can very easily go through this thing because we have already done the hetu. So as the hetu for the kusala terms, there are 3 term endings: kusala, abhyakata, and kusala abhyakata. And for the akusala also same, and for the abhyakata it's also same, right? So that's how the seven answers are applicable here. So now we will go through the analytical states here, for the condition and the conditioned states. So for the conditioned, for all 3 terms, for the kusala, akusala, and the abhyakata are the same, right? The five jhana factors, because they are applicable in all 3 types, right? The initial application, then the zest, feeling, one-pointedness, like that. Regarding the conditioned states, there is a it's similar, right? It is similar to the hetu paccaya, the root condition. The reason being is that for the kusala, right, we know all the kusala, they are rooted, right? So the conditioned states, they become the 21 wholesome consciousness and the 38 mental factors, right? And then for the abhyakatas, the term ending abhyakata, and it's the mind produced matter, a similar way, right? And then for the kusala abhyakata, it becomes the associated aggregates and the mind produced matter. So this part is similar to the hetu paccaya. And it is the same case with the akusala too, because we know all the akusala, they are rooted, right? So it is similar here, but there's a minor difference here, of course. Now you can remember in the case of hetu paccaya, in the case of the hetu paccaya, did I miss on something? Oh, yes. So in the case of the hetu paccaya, in the associated aggregates, we removed from these 27 mental factors, we removed the delusion in the two delusion rooted consciousness, right? So that's the only difference here, but the others are the same. Right. But regarding the abhyakata, there's a small difference here, right? So in this, there's a difference here. For the paccayadhammas, it's the same for the conditioning state, but in the conditioned states, here we have the 26 types of resultant consciousness, right? In the associated aggregates, there are 26 types of resultant consciousness. What is removed from the total number of resultant consciousness are 36. So the 10 rootless consciousness, the twin-fold, five-fold consciousness, they are removed from here. So that's why it becomes 26. And so which means some of the rootless resultant consciousness are here, right? And regarding the functionals, there are 20 here, right? So which means that we know that in the total number of functional consciousness are 20, right? In the hetu paccaya, we took only how many? 17, right? The 17, 8, 5, and 4. Yeah. So 17 we took there. But in the case of the Jhāna paccaya, we take all 20, right? Which includes the rootless functional consciousness. So that's why it's 20 here. And the 38 mental factors. And then we have the mind produced matter. And at the moment of conception, karma produced matter here. So now we will move into the, right? We will move into the the Sahajāta small group table, right? So what happened here is that now, okay, the corners and small group table, we get it. Okay, you can see it, right? Yeah. So here it was in the hetu paccaya, in the root condition, it was kusala hetu, right? In the Anuwada Pali, it was kusala hetu. But in the Jhāna paccaya, it becomes kusalani jhanangani, like that, right? So in the case of akusala hetu, it becomes akusalani jhanangani. Then in the case of vipakabhyakatani kiryabhyakatani hetu, it becomes vipakabhyakatani kiryabhyakatani jhanangani. And in the instrumental column, it was hetu paccayena paccayo, and here it becomes Jhāna paccayena paccayo. So that those are the differences which is applicable for the Jhāna paccaya. So which means that if we can remember the structure of the hetu paccaya for the Sahajāta small group table, then we can very easily memorize the Jhāna paccaya too. Okay. So now we will move into the Pali, right? So the Pali, it comes first, right? Pali and the translation. Nevertheless, we discuss the other things. So now the Pali we'll go through. It's easy. Right? So kusalo dhammo kusalasa dhammasa jhana paccayena paccayo kusalani jhanangani sampayutakanang khandanang jhana paccayena paccayo. So what really changes from the hetu, it becomes the kusalo the jhana paccayena paccayo, it becomes through the force of jhana conditioning, right? The rest is similar with the hetu paccaya. And here in the Anuwada Pali, here it is kusalani jhanangani, right? In the hetu, it was kusala hetu. So the translation is the wholesome jhana factors support to the associated aggregates through the force of jhana conditioning, like that. Right. For kusala dhammo abhyakatasa also it has the similar pattern. So I will not go through it much. Same case with the kusala abhyakata, right? Kusala abhyakata. So next one is for the akusala also the same. The pattern is the same. So here, what the difference is that akusalani jhanangani, like that, right? So the translation is the unwholesome jhana factors. Right. So for the three akusala terms, it's the same. And for the abhyakata, so here it becomes vipakabhyakatani kiryabhyakatani. Right, so really it should be one here, vipakabhyakatani. Two. Okay, yeah, so here it becomes, in the kusala it was vipakabhyakata kiryabhyakata hetu. So here it becomes vipakabhyakatani and kiryabhyakatani jhanangani. So there's a change here to make, like in Pali, there are genders in the words. So to match it, it becomes jhanangani. To match with the jhanangani, it becomes kiryabhyakatani, like that. So only the minor the differences that you have to remember. So the rest is the same, right? So patisandikane vipakabhyakatani jhanangani sampayutakanang khandanang karatacha rupanang jhana paccayena paccayo, like that. Right. So so in this, with that we have completed the Jhana paccaya 2. So the two paccaya from the corners and small group are finished. So like what I want to really do is to go through all the things that we did, including this Pali, right, and the translation too. So usually in our classes, like when you're teaching the monks, we will translate all the Pali and recite too. we only meet once a week, so we don't have much time to do everything. So from your side, you have to do a lot of self-study with the note which I shared with you all. So if you have any questions, we can quickly discuss them.
好，如果大家还有其他问题呢，我们现在可以快速的来看一下。So this question is about the gamma condition. So it's asking why in the chart for gamma condition, the Paccayuppannadhamma mentioned the Uttusa. Why it mentioned Uttusa?
Yes, we'll discuss in when we are in that pacha, right?
Yes, Monday. Sorry, Monday. This question is about the Chinese translation. So
okay,
we just explained. Maybe do some revise.
Okay. Okay, I think that's done, right?
One more. Are you answering in Chinese about the question?
Isha merits, right? Oh,
yes.
Is there another question? All right. In Chinese? Okay, Isha the merits. Akasattha cabummattha devanaga mahiddhika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakhantu sasanang. Akasattha cabummattha devanaga mahiddhika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakhantu desanang. Akasattha cabummattha devanaga mahiddhika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakhantu mang parang. Idamme ñāti nang hotu sukhita huntu ñātayo. Idamme ñāti nang hotu sukhita huntu ñātayo. Idamme ñāti nang hotu sukhita huntu ñātayo. Imina punya kammena mame bala samagamo satan samagamo hotu yavanibbana pattiya. Yang pattang kusalang tassa anubhavena panino sabbe saddhamma rajassa ñatva dhammang sukhavahang papunantu visuddhaya sukhaya patipattiya asoka manupayasang nibbana sukhamut Tamang chirang titthatu saddhammo dhamme hontu sagarava sabbepi satta kalena samma devo pavassatu yatharakhinsu purana surajano tatevimang raja rakkatu dhammena Attanova pajang pajang imaya dhammanu dhamma patipattiya buddhang pujemi imaya dhammanu dhamma patipattiya dhammang pujemi imaya dhammanu dhamma patipattiya sanghang pujemi Addhaimaya patipattiya jati jara vyadhi maranamha parimuccissami idang me punyang asavakkaya vahang hotu idang me punyang nibbanassa paccayo hotu mama punya bhagang sabba sattanang bhajemi Te sabbe me samang punya bhagang labhantu. Buddha sasanang chirang tithatu. Buddha Sasanang Chirang Tithatu. Buddha Sasanang Chirang Tithatu. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So we also share merits which we accumulated, all the merits to all the beings, the humans and all the other beings in Myanmar. And may all of them be free from suffering. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
So please allow me to translate Pandit.
Thank you for the translation. Sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you very much, Bante. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu.